4.3, managing your research. Scheduling research and writing. Set up a project schedule that shows when you will complete each of your steps in this paper. These papers can become really overwhelming if you wait till the last minute to try to complete them. So your best bet is to develop a schedule, use a calendar, and get that due date and work backwards. Generally, it is wise to divide half of the available time on the research phase of the project and then the other half on the writing phase. So if you already have a game plan going in, it helps you significantly. Plan your schedule realistically and consider other commitments that may sometimes take precedence. A business trip, family visit may mean that you're unable to work on the research project for a few days. If you're about to have a Thanksgiving holiday, Christmas, all of these seem like that's a lot of time to write a research paper, but then people start calling and you have to go to different parties and your schedule can get a little crazy. So if you go ahead and plot it out to spend an hour, 2 hours a day on your paper, then it will be completely and totally manageable, which is the goal. Organizational tools that you can use: calendars, checklists, note cards, software. Use your iPhone. It's got a little calendar in it and even can beep at you if you're not, on schedule or keeping up with your calendar. Or you could even set up a buddy system with somebody else in your classroom and they can you can hold each other accountable. That also helps. But throughout your project, organize both your time and resources systematically. And make sure you review your schedule frequently and check your progress and make sure that you are on task. And if you are not, you may need to readjust your calendar. That's fine because you have left yourself some time to do that. So, bonus. Anticipating challenges. So let's say you plan to interview a subject. They're expert on the topic, but then they call and they're like, I can't. I have strep throat. So you're going to need to be able to be flexible, and that's another reason why you want to start with plenty of time so you have more space to be flexible within. So all of these troubling situations are common. They happen to us all, no matter how carefully we may plan. So if you manage your project effectively, this means that you have already anticipated for those problems. So make sure that you allow time in your schedule to handle any setbacks. Many times the situation becomes a problem due only to lack of planning. If your computer crashes the night before you are about to submit your paper into Blackboard, that's really not a good excuse because you could have turned it in early, you could have backed it up, or you could have, there are a billion things you could have done. So, instead of trying to send it in at that 11:58 deadline when the deadline's 11:59. So, make sure you plan accordingly. Also, another challenge may be that perhaps the library has a book that you need for a particular source and it's checked out. Well, that's super stressful. But if you allow yourself enough time, you can always go to a different library. You could go to Barnes & Noble. You could take time to peruse ebooks, and there are several options. But not if you only have 10 minutes before you have to turn this bad boy in. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time. Again, you can manage most potential problems by staying organized, maintaining a take charge attitude. I love that. That's straight from our textbook. Take charge attitude. Take the time to save a backup copy of your work. Always do that. Always make a backup of your research papers. Research papers are entirely too much work to just lose if your computer blows up. So you can use Dropbox, you can use Google Drive. Any of these will save your work for you. So, anticipating challenges is very important within a research paper. Always back up your paper and always sort of have a safety net for things to just sort of happen because life does.